almost like the Flashpoint, where it starts, one of the key matrix lines that will help shatter this status centralized system.
Hello one, hello all. You have found Flashpoint Radio. I am your host, Jay-Z. It is Wednesday, March 14th, or 3.14 pi. For all you math nerds out there, Pi Day, yay. Thank you for joining me here on Flashpoint Radio. I'm coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. As you might have heard, Ron Paul did nothing yesterday. He didn't get anybody, he didn't get any delegates, he didn't get anything. We're done. We're lost. Don't believe that. Missouri caucus is Saturday, and this is the largest caucus state in the nation. So if we can pick this state up, it changes everything. For those of you that will be available, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at the Stratford Inn in South County, there is the last caucus training / mock caucus you can attend before Saturday's caucus. If you want more information, go to the Facebook page. Links below for all of that. And there are links below for all of the articles I'm going to be covering today. So I suggest you look at what I'm saying and don't take my word for it and do your own research. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Flashpoint Radio, on Facebook, facebook.com/Flashpoint Radio, and click subscribe to stay up to date and informed. Please share this with your friends and click the like button on all of the social media. Let's get this information out to those that aren't awake. Those of you that are awake, great, awesome, but you need to be sending these videos to people that are not awake. Well, today, for the Wednesday edition, I decided that I was going to look into what I like to call let them eat cake. Basically, it is the division of classes in this country. You might think, well, I know what you're talking about. Whites hate blacks, black hates whites, blacks hate Hispanics, rich people hate poor people, working poor hate those that collect government assistance, and all of these divisions that we have in our lives, when in actuality those are divisions that are created by the elite and the ruling powers in this country. They want us looking at each other with a sly eye and an untrusting eye and an untrusting gaze, because if we're not trusting our fellow man and our neighbors and those that we see at the grocery store and at our jobs, then we won't be paying attention to the people that are really screwing us over, and that is the true separation of classes, the power elite and everyone else. And it is a very small portion of the population that's in the power elite, but most of our government officials, most of the bureaucrats, at least the high-ups, they are knowingly deceiving you, and they use their minions and their armies of bureaucratic drones to do their bidding and to get in the way of us actually getting after those that are destroying our sovereignty and our liberty. So I decided, let's look at some stories about how the elite believe they're better than us. And well, I got a ton. So we're going to step right into the pile here, if you will. I'm going to go fast and furious, touch on a lot of different stories. This comes to us from NewJersey.com, NJ.com. Governor Chris Christie has no right to be rude. Read this article, and it deals with this clip we're going to watch right now.
Every time I tried to answer, he started yelling over me again and everything. I think, oh, damn, man, I'm governor. Could you just shut up for a second?
The clip is longer, but basically he had a town hall, and he was not pleased with people questioning him, as he usually is, not pleased with citizens questioning him, and he decided to have this gentleman kicked out. Well, it turns out this gentleman happened to be a Navy SEAL. Of course, he had no way of knowing that. I didn't hear the gentleman introduce himself, so I don't know if he knew he was a Navy SEAL, but you heard it. He said, "I'm the governor." You know, that's it. That's it. His position makes him above us. He gets more rights than us. And as this article clearly states, he has no right to be rude. He doesn't gain rights by becoming a government official. Or does he? This comes to us from the Huffington Post. There are more links to other stories revolving around this. Headline, Insider Trading in Congress. The SEC chair cautions Constitution makes enforcement difficult. Yes, you heard that right. Our Constitution, the document written by our founders to protect us from the government, is now being stated as the reason the SEC cannot look into insider trading of our Congress. If you didn't know, came out earlier this year that Congress has been trading on inside information, and they haven't been able to do anything about it. Basically because it is the U.S. Constitution gives the Congress protection against prosecutions that threaten the legislative process. So making laws is more important than the rule of law. So since they have to make laws, they cannot be investigated or, you know, looked at in a criminal light about trading on the stock market. And if you just start page, congressional and Senate and House members' stock results, and you'll find it. You'll find the amount of money they're making on the stock market while we are losing money on our 401ks and our IRAs. But I put another link down below from the Business Insider, and this professor headline says, "Professor, oh please, of course congressional insider trading is totally illegal." This professor goes through the reasons why it's illegal and the reasons constitutionally and legally why they cannot insider trade. Now, the SEC can decide not to investigate. Well, that makes them unconstitutional. Moving right along, this comes to us from the Politico. Let's go to this video and see what this guy has to say.
The sharpest headline would have been, "Are voters stupid?" Or if you wanted to be even sharper, you could make it not a question, just switch the order of the verb. "Voters are stupid," and the piece would have probably supported that.
You heard that right. That's Politico editor John Harris, and he is stating that voters and pollsters are stupid. Citizens that are voting are stupid for having their own opinions and not listening to the mainstream media, basically, is what he is saying. This comes to us from Politico as well. Headline, NBC polls Ron Paul's last embed. Most presidential candidates get embed reporters that are with them on their campaign, and they travel from city to city, and they report on what's going on. Well, Ron Paul had only one left. Until recently, NBC pulled his reporter, so there are no mainstream news reporters following the Ron Paul campaign, and this Politico states this. For most political reporters, he is all but irrelevant to the future of the GOP contest. Well, how do you think about that, Ron Paul supporters? That is Politico stating what you already know. The mainstream media doesn't believe Ron Paul even has a chance, and his supporters are, well, stupid. Moving right along, this one I love. I found this hidden in between the lines. You have to read articles fully before you can get the full scope and before you can point out the little bits of propaganda. This comes to us from the Wall Street Journal headline, "Speaking with the Speaker." It's a long article interviewing Speaker of the House John Boehner, and I just pulled this one sentence out because it caught my eye. It says, "It's late Wednesday morning and the Speaker of the House is seated in his Capitol office smoking and sipping coffee from a styrofoam cup." Did you catch that? He's sitting in his Capitol office, sipping from a styrofoam cup. Oh wait, and smoking. I'm assuming he's smoking cigarettes, but it doesn't really matter. So there you go. John Boehner, Speaker of the House, all congressional members can smoke inside a federal building. Can you smoke inside a federal building? Can you smoke inside a state building? Can you even smoke outside in Clayton, Missouri? No, you can't, because you're just a lowly serf. They can do whatever they want because they make the laws, and by making the laws, that means you don't have to follow the laws. And you say, well, that's crazy, that's crazy. Well, links below. How about this? Search, start page, the term qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a doctrine in U.S. federal law that arises in cases brought against state officials and against federal officials. Qualified immunity shields government officials from liability for the violation of an individual's federal constitutional rights. Or how about this one? Start page, sovereign immunity. Sovereign immunity in the United States is the legal privilege by which the American federal, state, and tribal governments cannot be sued. Do you hear that? Can you be sued for punching somebody? Can you be sued for libel? Can you be sued for violating someone's constitutional rights? Yes, you can. Can the federal government or representatives of that government, from federal down to state and local communities? No, they can't, because they get sovereign immunity because now the government views itself as the sovereign and you as a lowly serf, and you have no individual sovereign rights. That is a fallacy, and that is against everything our founders believed in, and you should call out every member of the government, from our congressmen, your representatives, down to the cop that pulls you over and gives you a ticket, to the meter maid that's writing tickets to those people, and you need to question their authority because they do not have the authority to bug and get under sovereign citizens' skin. They can't charge us with these crimes. They're a corporation. You violated no sovereign citizen's rights when you speed or roll through a stop sign or park somewhere they don't want you to park. But does it matter? No, not to them, because you're just a lowly citizen. Moving right along with Ben Bernanke, he was recently grilled by Ron Paul, presidential candidate Ron Paul, in a House congressional hearing, and Ron Paul asked him if he does his own grocery shopping, and Ben Bernanke stated he does. Do you believe that? Do you believe that the chairman of the Federal Reserve does his own grocery shopping? Do you believe any celebrity does his own or her own grocery shopping? How about congressional people? Nah, it's called aides. It's called interns. Those are the people that do their shopping. Well, and here we go. This comes to us from Forbes. Who cares about sterilization? The Fed pretty much just announced QE3. This comes to us from last week about the Fed announcing $500 billion being pumped into the economy because, well, we're too big to fail and the government has to do something. Well, think about it, people. If you're in credit card debt and you're in debt up to your eyeballs, your family is, and you don't file for bankruptcy, do you think you'll ever get out of it? Unless you file for bankruptcy and actually hit a bottom, you'll never get out of it. This is the government getting new credit cards and making the laws that allow them to get new credit cards. We can't get new credit cards when our credit is trashed. But when the government's credit's trashed, they can just print more money. Yep, that's right. And let's look at the mortgage crisis, where many of you might have been screwed. And I'm actually dealing with it in my personal life, trying to buy a home owned by Fannie Mae. This comes to us from Smart Money. Smart Money headline, 5 mortgage relief programs that fell short. The government's 5 mortgage relief programs set to help 13.4 million homeowners. They actually helped 1.9 million. Well, where'd the rest of the money go? Okay, this is another one. CNN Money. Rage grows over mortgage deal. Okay, rage growing over because only 750,000 will be able to finance loans while 11 million homeowners are underwater on their mortgage. So do that percentage. What percentage is that? So where's all this money going? If the government's giving people money and has all these programs to take care of mortgages, where is all the money going? This comes to us from CBS News. Good old Missouri making headlines. Jefferson City, Missouri headlines. Some money from mortgage settlement to be diverted. It says the ink wasn't even dry on a settlement with the nation's top mortgage lenders when Missouri Governor Jay Nixon laid claim to a chunk of the money. That's right, Governor Jay Nixon decided to push money that was given to the state to cover mortgage fraud, and he decided to push it towards the University of Missouri in St. Louis, Columbia, and Kansas City. And if you go back to one of my other episodes, you'll see, yeah, they got money from us for our mortgage settlement, and they raised their tuition. Ain't that grand? Ain't that just a peach? Well, here's 2 more stories to end this, and this is what the rich and the elite are doing and what they're doing to stop you. This comes to us from The Blaze. Here's why the University of Texas had $1 billion in solid gold delivered. So University of Texas, which most colleges are simply an investment arm and they're not there to actually educate people, they bought and got delivered $1 billion in gold last year. So they're buying gold. But Ben Bernanke says gold's ridiculous. There's nothing to gold. Gold's not the reserve currency of the nation. And finally, this is what they might have to do with you. From The Atlantic, headline, How Engineering the Human Body Could Combat Climate Change. From drugs to help you avoid eating meat to genetically engineered cat-like eyes to reduce the need for lighting, a wild interview about changes humans could make to themselves to battle climate change. Yeah, we're going to make them to ourselves. I'll believe that when I see it. I'm signing off with all this fun news about how we're just lowly serfs and they are our rulers, and you better get it through your head that they don't care about you. None of them. Rick Santorum, Mitt Romney, none of them. Ron Paul, possibly. He's the only one I'm willing to put my trust in. So thanks for watching Flashpoint Radio. I'm your host, Jay-Z. Check me back tomorrow. I'm saying God bless and keep your eyes to the sky.
Dream with the feathers of angels stuck beneath your head. No regulation. fighter.